Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. In this video, I want to talk about the 5 lifestyle upgrades that I want to instill to you and I want to share with you that have helped me in the past 5 years, that have made my life significantly better. They don't have to be much. A lot of people say like, oh, I want location freedom, time freedom, all of these big goal stuff to improve your quality of life. But there are a few things that I've learned to develop over the past couple of years that don't really break the bank, that don't really bring that much. So first one that I want to have you rethink what it means to, when you think of lifestyle design, it's being able to live your life in a way that's intentional. And so the first upgrade that I want to share with you is not necessarily a tool or a physical thing, but change your job or change your position. When I think of this, you want to focus on things that help you level up and grow and expand. And the way I really kind of learned this was a reflection that I had from when I was, in my hometown in Long Island, New York, versus where I am now in Tampa, Florida. The first job I got down here was hospitality. I was bar backing. I was busting tables. I was running food. I worked in a restaurant, I started that job sophomore year of college, so about halfway through college, and I went to 2 different restaurants, and then I worked my way up to being a bartender. And that's one of the things that has carried me in terms of my relationships, in terms of my communication, just meeting people, having a job or a position that forces you to grow and build skills that compound over time. I was such a shy kid growing up. I would stutter. I'd be made fun of in, Xbox group chats back in the day for stuttering. And my communication has improved. It's nowhere near where I want it to be, but it's certainly improved. And that has come because I've put myself in a position where I had to grow. I had to level up. I had to get better. I had to improve. Hospitality and restaurant jobs are great for that, but also sales. Sales is another role that I'm currently in right now. And you're in conversations day in, day out. The thing about sales is that you need to be intentional with your tone and your pronunciation and your body language. So that stuff plays an important role, and that compounds outside of, your job and making money. It's, like I said, it's relationships. It's, literally like relationships. It's who you deal with on a day-to-day basis. Dale Carnegie says 80% of your ability to make money in life will come from how you deal with people. The second one is more of a habit that upgrades your brain more than anything. So when we think of lifestyle, it's all about how we perceive it. There's somebody who can be living in seemingly, poor conditions, like struggling, but they're having a great time. It's why, Shaolin monks or people who don't really have any sort of income or societal status enjoy life because of how they perceive it. And so the way you change perceiving anything is by taking on new information that you're not used to. And so my second upgrade for this is reading and building a reading habit. And so reading, over the past 5 years, I started reading probably back in 2020, the self-development big 3 that everyone talks about. So Think and Grow Rich, How to Win Friends and Influence People, and Rich Dad Poor Dad are like the big 3 of personal development. That's what got me into reading. So reading, especially when it comes to reading like mindset, self-development, memoirs, biographies, it changes how you see reality. It changes, how you look at things, how you look at life. It changes how you make decisions. If you read books on what successful people have done, you change how you operate, because you start to act and operate more like a successful person, which leads to future success. Also, back to my first point, reading books helps you better interact with people. When you read books on communication, on sales, all that stuff, you learn how to better deal with people and better interact with the world. And so building a reading habit has been incredibly important. There are 2 ways that I recommend reading. One is a Kindle. So I have a Kindle. It's great. You can pull it out whenever. It's very portable. It's very intentional because you're not reading on your phone that's prone to distraction or notifications of any kind. Another one that I recommend is Audible. So if you want the lowest friction way to get into reading, I'd say get into Audible and start reading audiobooks. If you have a Spotify subscription, there are audiobooks on Spotify. They're building a lot more integration with audiobooks on that platform now, but I love Audible. I try to consume at least 2 to 3 audiobooks a month. I read or I listen whenever I'm in the car. Whenever I'm walking my dog, or just out, or I'm doing menial tasks like laundry, housework, that sort of stuff. People always ask, should I read nonfiction books? Can I read fiction? Should I read both? I think you should read both. I was never one to read fiction books for a while until I got into the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. If you haven't read it, it's a phenomenal series. There's 7 books so far, and the 8th one is coming out in September, I believe. May or September, I'm not sure which one, but it's a phenomenal fiction series. It's sci-fi, it's dystopian, beautifully written book. Fiction books are great because they teach you life lessons, you learn about character development, struggles, all much more plot-related, complex, literature-based lessons. And nonfiction helps you with mindset, self-image, philosophy. Those are books that I would recommend when it comes to nonfiction, are mindset books, self-image, philosophy, how you see the world, business. If you're entrepreneurial, definitely read business books, how rich people think, those sort of books. A book that I recommend for anyone that's nonfiction is Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Great book. Meditations by Marcus Aurelius was never meant to be published. It was the notes of Marcus Aurelius, who at one point was the most powerful man on planet Earth, who controlled the Roman Empire, and he wrote notes to himself, reminding himself, hey, today I'm going to be dealing with arrogant people. It's reminders and reflections of a true philosopher king. And so you can apply those lessons to anywhere in life. Thomas Jefferson had a copy of Meditations on his bedside and read it every day. Number 3 is a high-quality Bluetooth speaker. Music is one of those small little things in your life that make a huge difference. They change your state. They make you feel good. It pumps you up. It makes you feel sad. It influences your emotions. And so having a good, high-quality speaker is what allows you to enjoy music more, and you get to enjoy that process of listening to music and jamming out. Some good gear that's worth exploring. I have a UE speaker, a UE Mega Blast. That's a great one. Sonos makes good speakers. Marshall makes good speakers. Sennheiser, great audio gear. Audio gear in general is phenomenal. So a good pair of headphones, over-the-ear headphones, and a good Bluetooth speaker can go a long way. When it comes to working out, you want good quality bass heavy music when you're going to the gym, going on a walk, that sort of stuff. Number 4 is a bit controversial. People always say, get a gym membership, go to the gym, that sort of stuff. But I think it is much worth the investment to purchase a premium gym membership. And what do I mean by that? So a premium gym membership, in my opinion, is anything that's over $50 a month. So I use that as a rough benchmark. So, take for instance your Planet Fitness, your Crunch, your EOS. A lot of your big box gyms that are below $25 a month, $10 a month ish. And so anything above 10 or anything above 50 is a great benchmark as a premium gym or a more exclusive gym. Some of the ones in Tampa, Florida that I recommend are Gold's, which is about $120 a month, give or take. Lifetime, phenomenal. It's pretty expensive. It's close to $300, if not more. Bayshore Fit, MI40. The owners do a much better job at the equipment, the environment, the amenities. Lifetime, you pay a good amount of money per month, but it's a country club. You have a premium sauna, a premium locker room, you have a cold plunge, it's a pool, swimming area, they have all these amenities, they have a restaurant in there. You get a lot of benefit for what you're putting in. And when it comes to 2025, a lot of us are going to be in the gym. So having an outlet that feels premium and luxury and high class without too much of a price tag, I think is worth it. Because if you're spending, 2 hours of your day, 2.5 hours of your day at the gym, when I feel excited to go to the gym, I would rather pay an extra $50 a month to go to a place that I'm excited to go than $10 a month to go to Planet Fitness and I don't want to go. And another added benefit of going to one of those premium gyms is that you surround yourself with higher performing people. You're in the right gym when you see a Lambo in the parking lot. I'll leave it at that because I think, the connections you build at a great gym is worthwhile. And number five is, I think, the most important in my opinion, because it can influence all the previous ones. And so it's produced the greatest ROI, in my opinion, in my personal life. And it's simply to move out of your hometown and to change your environment. When I was in high school, I was a shy kid. I didn't go out. I wasn't a very social person. I had a stutter. I got made fun of. I was insecure, overthought a lot. When I made the transition to move to Tampa for college, things changed. I had to level up. I had to grow. I had to step out of my comfort zone. And so moving to a different place that's not your hometown, where people don't know you, they don't know your old identity, who you used to be, it's paramount. It's close to none, because when you're in a new city, you get to rebrand. You get to become a new version of yourself. You get to build new connections. It's a forced place to grow. The easiest way to build new habits is to change your environment. My recommendation is to go to a warm weather city if you're from cold like I am. If you're from Northeast, the best place to go is a warm city. So Tampa's beautiful, Miami. A lot of people are going to Austin, Texas, Phoenix, Scottsdale area. Anywhere south is good, like Charleston, or even like if you want to make that effort, go to Europe, bro. Go to Thailand, go to Bali. A lot of people, especially the digital nomad, entrepreneur crowd, they make the trek to Europe. They're expats. They leave America behind, and the day-to-day ROI on that decision is infinite because of your lifestyle, the food, the people you speak to, the habits you build because you're in a new environment. All of that accumulates. If you were to take anything from this video, I would recommend that, changing your environment, because when we look at, we want to focus on the things that make everything else in our life easier or irrelevant. And moving or changing your environment makes everything else easier, because you're in a new environment, so you can physically change who you are and who you want to become. Going to a nicer city, a more expensive city, a place with more opportunity, more growth, new job, new position, like I just said, it forces you to level up. It forces you to make friends, make connections, make new friends, rather than the ones that you've been relying on back in high school. That's it for this video. My 5 lifestyle upgrades. So, number 1, get a new position, get a new job that forces you to grow and build compounding skills. Number 2, build a reading habit. Get Audible, buy Kindle. Number 3, get a high quality Bluetooth speaker. Number 4, purchase a premium gym membership. Upgrade your current gym, what you're doing. And number 5, change your environment. Please. That's it. Peace.